Okay, this is lesson 4.5, solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. Solving inequalities is very similar to solving equations, except for instead of having an equal sign, now we're going to have our inequality sign. So the four inequalities are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. And there are two key ideas, which is the addition property of equality means that just like with an equal sign, with an inequality, we have to add the same quantity to both sides, as well as subtract the same quantity to both sides. Okay, so example one, it says solving an inequality using addition and subtraction. Our first problem here is x minus 5 is less than negative 3. So again, we're solving for whatever's happening to x is what we're undoing to get x by itself. We have a minus 5, so the opposite would be to add 5 to both sides of the inequality. Lining up the inequality, crossing out our zero pair, we have x is less than, and then negative 3 plus 5 is 2. So then we have our number line to graph because now our answer is a series of numbers. It's not just equal to 2, it's any number less than 2, not including the 2. So because there's no equal sign, we're going to have an open circle at the 2. And then finishing up our number line here, we'd have 3, 4, 1, 0. If you have a whole number, just go by ones here. And x is less than 2. So then we shade to this side, to the less than. Okay, over to B, we have 13 is less than or equal to x plus 14. So our variables on this side of the inequality, and we have a plus 14, so the opposite would be to subtract 14 on both sides. Lining up that less than or equal to sign, our 14s add up to 0 because we have a positive plus a negative, and then we bring down our x on this side. 13 minus 14 is negative 1. So in the center of our number line, we're going to have negative 1. Okay, when we go to looking at, reading this inequality, we're reading it from the position of x. So this says x is greater than or equal to negative 1 because negative 1 is less than or equal to x. So if you would like to rewrite it, I usually like to rewrite it, remembering that the open part goes to the x here, because that helps me know that I'm going to be shading to the right, that x is greater than or equal to it. Because we have an equal sign, we're going to shade it in. And following our arrow once x is in front. And then adding 1 going to the right, negative 1 plus 1 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Subtracting a negative 1 going in the negative direction would be negative 2, negative 3. Okay, you can pause this video and try the next 3 problems and then turn it back on to check with me. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the next 3 problems. We're going to add 6 to both sides here. Lining up that inequality, we get y equals negative 1. Well, y is greater than negative 1. So we're going to have an open circle at negative 1, shading to the right. So this is 0, 1. This is negative 2, negative 3. Okay, number 2, we have to add 3.8 to both sides. Lining up that inequality, less than or equal to. We have b is less than or equal to 1.7 plus 3.8 works out to be 5.5. So we're going to go 5.5 here in the center. We're going to have a shaded in circle because it's also equal. B is less than, less means to the left. And because we're going by tenths, we're going to, we have like a 0.5 here. We're going to add 1/10 going to the right. So this is going to be 5.6 and 5.7. Going to the left, we're going to subtract a 0.1 from the center number. So this is going to be 5.4 and then 5.3. All right, question number 3. We have negative 1/2 is greater than x minus 1/4. So we're going to add 1/4 to both sides. And remember, you can use your calculator, alpha y equals, to get your fraction. Here we have our zero pair, opposites add up to 0, and we have our x. And negative 1/2 plus 1/4 ends up being negative 1/4. Again, to rewrite this math problem, we'd have x is less than, because the pointy part is next to x, negative 1/4. We're going to write negative 1/4 here in the center. It's going to be an open circle because there's no equal sign, and x is less than, so we're going to shade to the left. And now, because we have fourths here, we're going to go by fourths. So we're going to add 1/4 going in the positive direction. Negative 1/4 plus 1/4 is 0, plus another fourth is 1/4. Over to the left, we're going to be subtracting a 1/4. So this will be negative 2/4 and then negative 3/4. Okay, let's turn it over to the next side here. We have 3 more examples. You can pause the video and do these next 3 and then turn it back up. All right, number 4, we have w plus 3 is less than or equal to negative 1. So we're going to subtract 3 on both sides, lining up that equal sign. We have our 0 pair there. We have w is less than or equal to, and then negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. We're going to put negative 4 in the center. We do have the equal sign, so it's included in the data. W is less than or equal to, so less means we're going to shade to the left. It's any number less than or equal to that. And then ordering our number line, we have negative 5, negative 6. Going to the right, we're going to have adding 1, so this will be negative 3, negative 2. All right, number 5, we have d plus 10, so we're going to subtract 10 on both sides. Lining up that inequality, we get d is less than or equal to 8.5 minus 10 is negative 1.5. So we're going to have negative 1.5 in the center here. We are shading it in, and d is less than this amount. So if you want to rewrite it, d is less than or equal to negative 1.5. Then we're going to shade to the left here. So we're going to add a tenth going to the right. So this will be negative 1.4, negative 1.3. Less negative means more positive. And then here we're going to have negative infinity. So we're going to subtract a 0.1. So this will be negative 1.6, and this will be negative 1.7. Okay, the last one, we have a fraction example. X is added to 3/4. So to undo that, we're going to subtract 3/4 from both sides. So we get x is greater than, and then you can use your calculator to do 1.5 minus 3/4. And if you do that correctly, you're going to get 3/4. So we're going to have 3/4 in the center, open circle because there's no equal sign, adding a fourth going to the right. So this will be 4/4, or you might want to consider that as 1. And then this will be 5/4, which of course is 1 1/4. Going to the left, we have 2/4 and 1/4.